G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works or Bonsai. Today I want to have a look at this little shimpaku of juniper that I put together over the years. So to give you a bit of background, you would have seen this tree in a few demos, or a couple of demos I've done, and a couple of videos I've done in the past. So what happened was, this tree was an ELA from a few years ago. You know, grew it on a little bit, bent and twisted it up, got some bent and twisted a lot of the trunks, and and it came down to, I styled the tree a bit, did some deadwood gin work on some of the trunks, picked the main trunks I wanted to keep, and then I did demo and I think I repotted this tree as well, so it all came together pretty well. But now here it is, after probably, I did this probably in spring, early spring, which was August probably, actually, and now it's January, almost February, so probably February by the time this video is uploaded. So really it's a matter of, now I want to actually start to see how the foliage is a bit too full and it looks like a bush. I want to kind of separate it out and make it look cleaner. Let's get rid of this wire, let's lime sulfur the deadwood, make it more white. It's summer, so it really should dry out pretty quickly, make it very white quickly, so things like that. So improving this tree a little bit further on each time. So I just want to go through it, clean up a lot of things. The first thing we're going to do is take the wire off the gins. Let's see how they look. So it's pretty much just cutting them off. It's all copper, so I need to cut it off. I can't unwind it, so go through that. I'm going to have a look at the rest of the tree, and I will start to just make sure the wire isn't cutting in, take some of the wire off that I don't need, and then start and show you what it looks like once I've done that job. Then we'll look at, we'll lime sulfur this, let it dry, come back, and then start to work on the foliage. Let's start cleaning up the foliage, and I'll show you what I do with cleaning up the foliage and then rewiring some of the tree that's needed to be rewired. I think somewhere around there is the front. I can't remember exactly. I think I've repotted it, but it doesn't look right. That leg should be the front, but that's not the front. I think the front's in there somewhere. With the gins on this side and the tree on this side, so probably just a little bit off in the pot, which is not a big issue because we can just repot that next year, no big deal, and just get it right in the right spot. So yep, so let me come back and show you what it looks like after I've done that. I just want to make a quick point before I move on. When you create gins and it was a live trunk, and you took the bark off and you created that gin, and you wired that gin, it will dry in place. So these gins, I took the wire off and they're pretty much in the same spot. So they dried off, and they remain in the same spot. So perfect, it's great. Now we'll probably work on reducing it a little bit. It looks a bit too flimsy, but we'll work on that later. But just wanted to make sure that you understood that point. When you wire, that's so important. When you gin a piece of, gin a branch or something, and you want to position it, do it straight away. You gin it, wire it up, bend it, and then it'll dry in place. Okay. All right, guys. So I've actually went and lime sulfur that, let it dry off. Now I'm come back, and I'm going to have a look at getting some of the foliage wired out and wired, positioned into shape, things like that. Pretty easy, pretty stock standard stuff. Just want to try and follow that silhouette that it's still, following. But look, you see how it's a bit bushy, the real lines. I just want to make those lines cleaner. Really have this cascading branch really nice and clean base, clean bottom branch. Pluck anything that's going down, pluck anything that grows on the inside of, like you might have two branches and a little tuft of foliage comes out, pluck those out. Anything that grows hanging down, pluck it off. Everything that I'm going to wire, and then I'm going to pull the tips up a little bit, just so it looks like that, and then the foliage is just sitting on top, kind of thing. That's the usual way of doing it. So that's the plan. Nothing really fancy. I think it's a matter of just getting stuck into it, and I'll show you guys how I go along. No point watching me wire. It's kind of boring, but it's just a process of starting at the bottom, working my way up to the top, and creating a much more refined tree. So that's not too bad. It's probably, the front's probably around there. I'll probably maybe like that, I'd say. Just got to wire everything out for that front now. So it shouldn't be, maybe half an hour to an hour's work. I just want to make sure the wire that's on there now is not cutting in. I'll take it off, rewire some bits. This heavy wire probably doesn't need to be there as well, so I might remove that as well. There's quite a heavy wire on the trunk. You see that? I think the tree's pretty much held its place. So yeah, this is starting to really get into the refinement stage. I'm hoping if we have an exhibition this year, this could be in the show as an exhibition tree, as a mini. So I'm hoping the club is having a show this year. I'll let you know if we are, especially if you're in Melbourne. Come down and visit the show. It's pretty awesome usually, always I should say. I'm just going to get started on this tree, so I'll be back soon. Just a quick update how I'm going with the wiring. Probably can't tell on the camera very well, but yeah, always can't tell on the camera very well. But you can see the top. I mean, only the top apex hasn't been wired, and everything else has been kind of wired out. So you can see how there's like now flat pads everywhere, kind of different layers. See there, yeah. It's very hard to tell that with it on two-dimensional. I'm seeing three-dimensional, so I'll do that. Maybe I can spin it around a little bit like that in my hand. You see the different layers that have now starting to shape. Do a bit of better background when I'm showing you final product of the tree. Now I just want to work on the apex part, and that should complete the tree. Alright. Okay everyone, so all the wiring's kind of done on this tree. It's a matter of positioning now really, the foliage and the angle. I think it needs to be a bit more upright, but it is what it is right now. Apex is very hard to work when there's not much foliage. You see it's only a few little branches up there, so it's not a huge amount of foliage, but it's come along nicely. I'll try and get a better background so you guys can have a better look at it. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's a nice little tree. A nice little mini. Nice if it's on a stand, it's got a nice tall stand and it's a little cascading tree. I might have to look at the angle of the tree. See if it's flat like that, it looks a bit like it's falling over. I think it needs just to be up more, just a bit more like that probably, and that gives me the right angle. So it could be just a bit of a manoeuvring the some soil underneath that side, and it should be enough. But yeah, how does that look? I think it's just pretty much just getting to the wiring, guys. It's not really that hard. Wire out your pads. So you can see kind of all the pads are wired, even some back branching. So not too bad, but let me see if I can get a better background on it, and hopefully we can see a better look at it. Okay. You can kind of get a better view of the tree now, so it's not too bad. It just doesn't look very good in two dimensions. All those branches pulled down and the tips pulled up just doesn't look right on the camera, but you can get an idea of how the tree is looking. So there you go, guys. Quick nice little wire up, nice little style, and hopefully this fills out before our next show, and could be in the show, so I'm looking forward to it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Give me some comments if you want. I'm happy to answer any questions you have as well, so feel free to write down any comments. Another little shimpaku done, and you know how much I love these shimpakus. Again, this was just an LA from a couple of years ago, wired up, repotted, and now styled up. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.